We're back on the page with another profile, this time with Tanner. Playing insects. It's like he's Weevil Underwood. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Pegasus and the Wise Guys, and I'm here with the homie
Tanner.
You know, this is his first profile ever. We always talk about getting his insects on, and I'm done talking, bro. This is your favorite deck?
Yeah, it's my favorite deck.
Okay.
All right, so this is a fun little combo deck. It's hard.
So you're like the real life Weevil then, bro?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, man. I'll throw your cards off like a boat or something. Anything to win.
That's exactly what a Cowboys fan would do.
They're good.
Shout out to his terrible Cowboys, you know.
It's almost right.
All right.
Okay. So you want to start off with, this is probably the best card in the deck. You got 3 of Rapier the Onslaught. If you can search him, search him. He's always the best card to have. Mm-hmm. He's basically Simoon the Poison Wind. He just places the continue spell, summons himself, and this card will go +5 all on its own.
They're basically like the new Black Wings, right?
It's better than Black Wings ever was. Don't even compare them.
Okay, we gonna have you hook up with another homie from the page.
We'll try it. We'll play. Let's see. This is the next this next Battlewasp card. Mostly you just use it to search this, so it's a starter too. Obviously, it's a lot more susceptible, but it's an end board piece too. It actually is a negate, so it's really good in certain matchups like Yubel and stuff, where it's like you need to negate something. Mm-hmm. It's also a really good card. Run 3 of this. You could get away with 2 if you want, but 3 is just better for filling out deck space.
I see you with the supers though, bro. I know these aren't easy to get.
Oh no. Good thing about this deck is if you don't have 1-card combo, you can get 2-card combo pretty easily, and this is just...
Which is important in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to get going.
You have to get going. And this card is not once per turn. You get 3 searches and 3 dumps in 1 turn. It does everything. If you're just trying to get a few monsters on board, this is just one of the best ones to throw down and link off.
Absolutely.
You got the rest of the Battlewasp, 1 of each. This card automatically wins in time. It's great. This guy hits the field for free. This is literally the freest body in the game. It just says you can special summon it. And then this guy just grabs 1 from grave. You grab him pretty early on in the combo.
So you really burn people for 200.
You can burn people for 200. And people never let me play first game 3 with a few minutes left. It doesn't happen.
Well, that's fair for you. You can dogwood him or something.
You could.
He's like, nah, I'm cool. Well, you know, I wish you could max C, but you know.
Just give it back. Come on. I got 2 of these. Shout out Phil. I got 1 of these from Phil.
Shout out to Phil. It's the anniversary of one of his profiles.
It's a good card. Use this actually in combo. You're going to special this from deck, but if you draw it, you can summon it. Just special something else if you want. I see no reason not to just summon it if you can.
Not 3 though. It's not good enough to be at 3 probably.
No, this deck has so many 1-ofs that it's just...
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Insect stuff is specific. I get it.
You got just a lot of just 1-of extenders in this deck. Just...
So Scale Bomber is the one that can spam itself, I think?
So this guy just, you summon something that hits the board. You could summon it off the link 4 if you want. Mm-hmm. This guy, typically you summon him if you happen to draw into him, because this guy will just grab you the counter trap instead. Mm-hmm. He's also kind of a bad slow DD Crow, but he is a DD Crow.
Big ass Beetrooper.
This guy kind of just hits the field the same way as Scale Bomber, but you can't really chain block, and also he's polymerization on legs. Mm-hmm. This is just a way better Doom Dozer, and this is a great going second card. Does not start a chain. This is how you win grind games too. You just keep summoning this over and over and bringing this dude back, and it just gets... It's how you win turn 3 or 4. You just...
Closing people out the fast way.
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
And it's probably just the best dump off Resonance Insect. It's kind of similar to Resonance Insect in that it's alright to normal summon if you just need to get a couple eyes more than link off, just because you're going to get a token as well, which helps you get there.
Yeah. No, I got it.
You also have Goki Pull, which is important combo piece. Unfortunately, once per turn, just a great card to search just level 4, which you're often searching that. Way better last format. Definitely a format dependent card, but it's pretty cool. It's a hand trap. It is a hand trap that also acts as engine. This will just grab you something like Goki Pull or Resonance Insect if you want, or the level 5 I just brought up a few seconds ago. Resonance Insect lets you add a 5 or higher insect. You're going to be doing that tons of times. You can just get away with main decking a main deck Kaiju, which is great.
Because it's an insect.
And then this is the best card in the deck. This is the card that wins games. It's kind of just a crappy window, but it's just so great. I can't tell you how many times people
These old cards are so stupid, bro. This is an
didn't-
old card. And
They
just
did
forgot
not know
about
what they were doing back in the day.
Each player can only special summon a monster once per turn, so it literally was window before window.
Yeah. You could, you're mostly summoning this off the rank 3, but honestly, this deck has 3 normal summons.
Is that Cicada King? Is that
Yeah,
the one you're talking
Cicada
about?
King.
Okay.
But if you really wanted to, you could tribute summon that thing. Let's see. This is your other 1-card starter. It basically just special summons an insect from hand or deck with 1,000 or less, and then if you pick deck, you have to send it immediately. So you summon Resonance Insect, send Resonance Insect, grab a level 5. But if you already have Resonance Insect, you can just summon this, and like you get to keep it too.
So it's like your secondary choice.
Yeah, so it's really nice. Just have something else that hits the board super free. And I believe that is it for the main deck. And sorry. Then also you got to run 2 of the Black Whirlwind, Battlewasp Wind. You don't want to draw it. It's not terrible if you do, but you don't want to draw it. It really sucks if you draw it.
I want to see a heavyweight fight between Battlewasp and Black Wings, bro. I feel like I want to make that happen.
I think the Battlewasp win. Like, you get to work. This is just newer, better version.
Okay,
It's
famous last word.
2.0.
We're going to set this fight up because it's a dude that plays at the other store.
Okay. This card, you get to search, twice off this card, but 4 times in reality because you get to do it twice.
It is like a more cracked out version. It's more like the new Black Whirlwind, like the newest one. Yeah.
For the modern era.
For the modern era. That's so stupid. That card is broken.
And then you have one more 1-card starter, Instant Fusion. There's a level 5 Beetrooper, which you can grab just the Beetrooper. It's sort of the jankest one, but it gets you there.
Yeah, and that's all you need to do is get there sometimes. I get it.
Yeah. And then I believe that's it for
See you with the
main.
ulti, by the way.
It's nice. I've owned that for a long time. Oh, I'm sorry. One more engine card. I keep saying that. It's just the Battlewasp Counter Trap. It's not as good as most counter traps. It only negates monsters, but it can reset itself every other turn, which is pretty cool, and it banishes to do so, which...
I don't know. You set that against certain cards. That could be broken, like Dreadman.
Yeah, but most decks get an Omni negate on their counter trap, and they...
It's like, what the
I
hell
can't
is
negate
this?
spells or traps, which sucks.
Yeah, no, that is trash.
And then it's just a few board breakers for the rest of the main deck slots. This could be realistically whatever you want. I just like these cards. This card's really good right now, so you can just drop everything. Since this deck OTKs so easily, it's like your main guys can be popping a bunch of cards. So everything's face down, it can't protect itself.
So that benefits you.
Oh yeah. And Droplet and Emperor don't really need to say anything. It's probably just the best hand trap right now and the best generic non-engine card in the game.
So I can kind of tell you can't afford to go back and forth with all the other hand traps, like playing that kind of game. You just want to break your board.
I don't bother. Mostly it's for the sake of a side deck card that kind of locks you out of hand traps, but it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
He's looking right at it, but it is.
You'll love it when you see it.
All right.
And these cards are okay if you see them.
just
The
make
main hand trap you're afraid of is Nib. You kind of just have to disrespect it and pretend it doesn't exist. And it's not worth the deck space, in my opinion, to play Cross Out and Nib and I guess Droll. So just disrespect it, pretend it doesn't exist, because everyone says they're going to run those cards.
And you have big monsters, so it's like you just want to push. I got you. So that's 40 cards in a man?
40 exact. I would not go over 40. It's
Because I've seen people either play 60 or 40 and they kind of make a choice. And if they're playing 60, they're just cramming more of the same cards, I guess.
yeah. They just everything's a 3 of and they max out on extenders.
Right.
But then it's just like I feel like it's the worst way to do the same thing. Just an excuse to run more non-engine, I guess. Which is the deck's biggest weakness. There was a lot of 1-ofs, as you saw.
Yeah.
Siding out is very difficult.
That's what I was going to ask you, because it's like siding patterns, going first, going second.
It's like sometimes you just have to cut a little bit of engine, which is why it's nice to play 3 of these, because you could get away with 2, so that's a card you can take out.
So the redundancy, if you see a card where you're like, I don't want to keep seeing this, that's what you probably have to do.
If anything's, if I'm going second, I never keep the counter trap in. It's just too slow. Just a few things like that. These 2 aren't really necessary. You could side them out. If I really want to put something else in, I'll take that out. But
No, that's fair.
I think the hardest part about this deck is that it's hard
Siding.
to side cards out because everything.
Well, it's an obscure deck too, so it's really hard to even ask somebody how to, But yeah, let's get into extra deck.
The extra deck. So these are the synchros I play. This card's more of a really jank tech to beat Ubel, just because Ubel's maybe this deck's worst matchup.
This one is.
Well, besides Rise the Elf, being honest, but that's pretty new. It's just, this card just lets you burn every turn, so you don't have to attack and run into the wall over and over. This card's crazy. You basically synchro off into this right away with the level 1 and the level 5. And then you get your second search off the continuous spell, and you search level 4. You put the continuous spell back for cost, so you can reactivate it. And then you summon the level 4, and then you get 2 more summons and 2 more searches. Which just lets you climb into this. Which, if you're going first, you immediately link it off, which seems backwards, but this guy just, if he's banished, he just summons himself and destroys cards equal number of your banished insects, so he's going to pop. At first, he's going to pop 2 or 3, but, like, you know, if the game goes to turn 4, he nukes the board every time he comes out, and it's just... You have a lot of way to banish cards in this deck.
I've seen, especially with Armor Horn and all the other stuff. Not to ruin the surprise.
Oh, yeah.
But I know
Armor Horn, it's the only card that's worth 2 spots. It's really good. I mean, it's just another normal summon. This deck gets to normal summon 3 times. Comes back by banishing 3, so it's the best way, easiest way to banish anything. It's the best thing you can do with 2 monsters that are insect.
Gotcha.
Then you have the next best thing. This card kind of just gets you there. This is like what I'm talking about when I say you have 2 card combos. Because if you can get, I guess it's 3. If you can get 3 monsters to hit the board, then you get there just by equipping Residence Insect from deck. Because this card's just Union Carrier, but only for insects. And Residence Insect really is the only good target.
This card is freaking crazy. It literally is Union Carrier.
Yeah. And you could do Skullmark Ladybug, but you have so many ways to win in time already. Forgot to mention, most people don't know, this card burns your opponent for 100. So if they imperm the pin the bullseye, you still win. But you don't tell people that. Keep that a secret.
I like that you're gonna like kneecap people with the cheap shots like
Don't
that.
tell them.
Wasp pick.
This is the best card, one of the best parts of your end board. You make this with 2 of the level 3 Beetrooper Scout Buggy. And if you want, you can be preemptive with it instead of waiting to negate an opponent's card, because they'll figure out what you're trying to do pretty fast. So, like, if you want, you just right away, like, negate one of your own cards, which feels bad. And every time this card negates a card, it switches battle position. It switches battle position, it special summons a monster from deck or hand or grave.
And that's where the Scary Moth comes in.
Which is where you drop Scary Moth on your opponent, first chance you get.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works.
And if a window
usually works.
Yeah. The window's really disgusting.
Unless they have a droplet.
Stupid.
See, this card, I don't make this card game 1 or 2 because I don't main deck the trap that's associated with it. But game 3, if I know for a fact I'm going first, I can side in the trap and it's worth making. This is like the only high rarity card in the deck. Let's see. This card's really good if you want to extend further. I don't normally bother making it turn 1, but if you
This
like...
card is like so blinged out, I have to like move it. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
But it's like it's a good card to end on. Unfortunately, the Insect Engine does not have an Omni Negate, but it's just another guy who I think he pops 2, and I don't think he's indestructible. Sorry, I'm doing that thing.
Nah, you good.
He's not indestructible, but he just pops 2 if your opponent specials from deck or extra deck. So it's just a good way to punish your opponent for trying to play. This is a great card for like sort of like weird jank game states, or if you just need a link 3. It just hits the board, and it's like a slow monster reborn. It gets tokens right on summon, and then it can send the tokens special from grave, but it can't do that same turn. But if you end up in a grind game, you almost always go into this, and it's just a free way to grab something back to try again. This is a great part of the end board. I make it every time just because half your end board's indestructible. You just mostly use it to just tribute off something for like the very end of the combo. You get the 2 Scout Buggies, you get the rank 3, and you're using that to summon window. You never make this going first, but it's like the best card going second. It just negates like I think up to 3 cards, or up to the number of insects used for its link summon or something like that. So it's a great way to just get over those cards that like you can't out. It's just like a field spell that makes things unaffected. Just negate that and then you can go off.
I forgot all about trap tricks or insects. That tripped me out a little bit, to be honest.
Then you got the fusions. You don't make this one often, but it's a fun option in certain situations. You only will ever summon this off instant fusion, and this is what you're summoning off that like main deck rank 5 from Age of the level 5 from Age of the Abyss. You summon this with the level 12. The whole idea is he banishes a monster from both boards, so you already have 3 banished. You're going to banish this on your opponent's turn, banish one of their monsters, and this comes right back and pops 4 or 5 cards your opponent can, as many as it can, realistically.
Wow, so this all pluses. These cards are crazy, bro.
And it's not big this format, but like all these are non-destructible, which is just nice for people who are just trying to drop Rikeki and Lightning Storms, and you don't care. Although not
So
a
you're
lot of...
like Tenpai's worst matchup ever, low key.
Oh, this was so good against Tenpai. It's a shame it's not around anymore. This
No,
deck...
it's not, bro. No,
Okay.
it's not.
this deck ate Tenpai and wanted.
Yeah. Well, I hope all the Tenpai players heard that because I hated them. But yeah.
And then the side deck,
they're not quite deck. Yeah.
it's a little it's a little dependent on your scene, but here's some fun options. This is the most fun card ever. This card just sums itself. You have to have all insects in your grave, which is why I don't really run any any monster hand traps.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy just hits the board by tripping 2 of your opponent's monsters that are in defense position, but it sums to your board, so you're just going +3. Nobody sees
And
this
that's
coming.
why you love Book of Eclipse so much.
It works. It works. It also goes great with the Lightning Storm because they're summoning it. They lose either way, attack or defense.
Why is there always a card like this that's broken as hell like that?
I'm getting a cheap shot.
So literally, they can't hide from. So if they try to dive, they're like, "Oh, I'll put everything in defense." You're like,
And it comes to your board. This is yours. You get to keep it. It's
that is
great.
so stupid. I just did a tech video and I feel like, man, I missed it with Mother Spider, bro. That's broken. That's broken.
Oh, it's one of the hardest cards to counter. I would call, and I do side 2 more thrust. You can thrust obviously into like a Lightning Storm and evenly, or if you just want to play, oh man, what's Armed Rebellion or Instant Fusion if you just want to get into your deck. Mm-hmm. But I don't like main decking too many thrusts because you'll brick on it. I really only play this card going second.
True story. I know I'd brick on it.
And for going first sides, you got the Ragnarok Hunting Dance, which you can search off that link 3 that I never make game 1. Mm-hmm. This card's just okay. Necrofusion, like I said, you could set it off thrust if you think your opponent plays a lot of hand traps. And it's a great way to drop the 4K unaffected on your board, which against most decks can be kind of a turn skip. Just something they won't get over to buy you some time. I'm going first. I love Solemn Judgment. I almost every deck I like to just throw that in. I don't see why you wouldn't.
Best card in the game, bro.
And then this deck can just, this deck OTK is so easy. So if you're going first, I don't see why not. Just drop some Heat Waves.
Because it's going to be better than, that's going to be better than your end board. You're going to probably end on maybe.
If it's not, if you're not playing against the backer deck, it just says go first with the battle phase. And that shouldn't be legal if I'm being honest, but if it is, I'm going to play it.
True. Well, he's a real life Weevil Underwood, with the insects. And shout out to you, bro.
Say goodbye to Exodia.